goal of the abolitionist movement was the immediate emancipation of all slaves and the end of racial discrimination and segregation in the United States. The events between 1830 and 1865 were the most influential part of American history. It began to tell the story of the monumental people who brought about change. Slavery in America lasted 246 brutal years from 1619 to 1865. People fought for freedom for many years, but the modern American abolition movement did not start until the early 1830s. Lucretia Mott was born a Quaker in 1793 and hated slavery from a very young age. Born in Nantucket, Massachusetts in 1793, she relocated to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The Philadelphia Female Anti-Slavery Society was founded in December 1833. It was formed as a result of the inability of women to become members of male abolitionist organizations. Slave owners in the United States wanted slavery to continue. They were in need of workers who they did not have to pay to take care of their large plantations. Some owners were afraid that if the slaves were freed, the slaves might take over the plantations or hurt the owners. Many slaves ran away to the free states in the North. Lucretia knew that something had to be done.
As Lincoln put it so well, one day we would be either all slaves or all free, but we could not be both. A house divided against itself cannot stand.
In 1837, she helped organize the Anti-Slavery Convention of American Women. In 1838, Lucretia's home was almost attacked by a mob after the burning of Pennsylvania Hall in Philadelphia. In 1840, Lucretia and her husband were sent to the World Anti-Slavery Convention in London as delegates. At the convention, they would not let any of the women inside. Some of the men overheard and pled to let the women attend. The board voted and came to a decision that women had no place in politics or business, and their place was in the house, and their role was to raise the children. Lucretia Mott took a stand and decided that her house would become a safe house for runaway slaves on the Underground Railroad.
Quakers and abolitionists would go by and see the statue of this little black boy in front of the estate, and they thought it was a great idea to do the same thing in front of the safe houses for the Underground Railroad.
The Underground Railroad helped over 1,000 slaves escape every year. More and more people were seeing how bad slavery was and that it needed to be stopped. The people of the United States could not agree. Abolitionists wanted slavery to end. Slave owners said it was needed. In 1861, the slave-owning states separated from the United States, and the American Civil War began. The Civil War started in 1861 and continued for 4 years. January 1st, 1865 was a great day. Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation was passed. The Emancipation Proclamation granted freedom to the slaves in the Confederate States. It the states did not return to the Union by January 1st, 1863. In addition, under this proclamation, freedom would only come to the slaves if the Union won the war. On May 22, 1863, Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation issued the U.S. War Department to establish the United States Bureau of Colored Troops. The camp was located outside of Philadelphia in Shelton Hills, Pennsylvania, now the township of Cheltenham. The land that the Camp William Penn occupied belonged to Lucretia Mott's son-in-law, Edward M. Davis. The Union League donated up to $100,000 to establish Camp William Penn. Lucretia Mott's home was also on the property.
A great number of black men were freed as slaves.
Thousands of African American men signed up and showed up.
Yes, what would be significant? I think it was their unity, their strong faith in the Lord Jesus. That they were Christians and they believed that the freedom was due, and so they believed they were doing God's will.
Broken down and tired of living life.
Many great anti-slavery abolitionists and Underground Railroad conductors made stops at the camp and Lucretia's home. Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, and William Still.
We gon' walk it out and move mountains and rise up.
The Civil War ended on May 9, 1865. Lucretia Mott was one of the great American religious leaders in history who changed American society for the better. Abolitionists, women's rights movement, and the temperance movement. She helped not only because she wanted to see change, but she made a difference because she wanted America to be one, not divided, not separated, and not segregated. For most ex-slaves, the emancipation and the end of the Civil War meant a renewal of hope, of economy opportunity, social mobility, and better life expectations. Lucretia Mott died on November 11, 1880. She changed the lives of African Americans and many more in America. Little did Lucretia know that this wasn't over. African Americans would take nearly 103 years for segregation to stop and for everyone throughout America to have peace.
For that we have